Hello, I'm DelusionDispeller, and today I'm going to talk to you on a totally different topic than I've ever talked to you about before. Today I'm going to be discussing something that kind of hit me on a whim, I guess you could say. It dawned on me that I really hadn't talked a lot about my experiences having my children. And this video won't appeal to everybody, so, if you're a guy that's not married, you're single, not looking, whatever, you may not want to watch this video series, or you might want to just out of curiosity. Or if you are a woman about to have a baby, you probably will be interested in watching this video series. Regardless of whatever, you're welcome to stay and watch, or to head on to a different channel or video or somebody else's video channel, whatever. Anyways, my name is Laura Beth, or DelusionDispeller. I am a life coach. I have been actually coaching people since 2009. I got my college degrees by the year 2013, I believe it was. That's when I finished up my master's degree. I already had a bachelor degree in psychology. And I've been actually coaching actively, like I said, since 2009, but also I'm not licensed, I'm not certified or anything like that. Basically, I just help people, have gotten paid for it, so I guess that makes me a professional life coach. If you do need help and you need coaching, please contact me at my email address, DelusionDispeller@gmail.com. I will try to include that in the video and also below in the notes. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with pregnancy, or in other words, things that I wish people would have told me about pregnancy before I got pregnant, that I really wish I would have known. And I'm going to share with you some of my personal experiences with pregnancy, so you'll know kind of what you might expect. Now, everybody's pregnancy is different, so I'm speaking from my personal experience, and if yours is different, that's okay. Everybody's body is different. So, here we go. And first of all, I'm going to start with, of course, the pregnancy test. That's the first part. Just know that pregnancy tests can be wrong. Sometimes, at least in my era, people relied on pregnancy tests for the be-all and end-all. I'm definitely pregnant. I'm definitely not pregnant. And over the years, they found out these results were not exactly accurate. Now, of course, there's pregnancy tests today that can be very, very accurate, like down to the second, almost. But back then, back when I had my first daughter, which was 1987, pregnancy tests were something that were not foolproof. And there was definitely nothing like what they have today. So, I wished I would have known that pregnancy tests can be wrong. Had I known that, I wouldn't have gotten excited about a couple of the births, or a couple of the pregnancies that didn't turn out to be pregnancies. And I definitely would have been prepared for the other ones that did turn out to be positive pregnancies and definite eventual babies. What they don't tell you, or maybe they do nowadays, but back when I was having babies, they didn't explain that you have to have the HCG level that shows up on the test. HCG is hydrochorionic gonadotrophin. I believe it's a hormone that the baby secretes when they start to form in the womb. That is what shows up pregnant or positive on your pregnancy tests in your urine. Sometimes urine tests are not right. I have had several urine tests that said I was not pregnant, and then a blood test that said I was not pregnant, and I still was pregnant. So there is no foolproof way to tell that you are pregnant. Usually tests are accurate, but not all the time. Another thing I wish somebody would have told me is it doesn't only take once. You hear people say, well, it only takes one time. That is until you're actually trying and want to have a baby. Then it feels sometimes like you're trying forever. I know some people that can't get pregnant, and believe me, they would vouch for me on this. I had a lot of trouble conceiving with my last two children. No matter what I did not get pregnant. And nobody had told me that just because you are sexually active with your husband, that you are not going to necessarily get pregnant. I thought it was something you do at one time and bam, you are pregnant. Now keep in mind, this was in the 80s. And I was raised in kind of a sexually repressive home. So I didn't know a whole lot about pregnancy. I just thought, have sex, get pregnant. That's the way it works. Well, it doesn't. Sometimes you struggle and you go through month after month with negative pregnancy tests, a lot of tears, a lot of pain, seeing people around you get pregnant, hating those people, resenting them, wishing it was you, fighting through jealousy feelings. I have been there. I've done that. I can relate. Okay. There were 3 methods of getting pregnant that I was not informed about that I found on my own through the internet, thank God. There's a book called The Art of Natural Family Planning, in which they tell you 3 methods you can use to help you get pregnant. So if you are a woman that's trying to get pregnant, hopefully married woman that's trying to get pregnant, or maybe a single woman that just wants a baby, and wants to do it in a natural way but doesn't want to get married. I don't know. It goes against my spiritual beliefs and stuff. But regardless, that's between you and God. If you are trying to get pregnant, and I'm hoping you're a pregnant woman watching this, there are 3 methods. The mucus method, the cervix method, and the temperature method. Again, something that the doctor and possibly your mother probably never told you about. The temperature method. You get a basal thermometer. You have to buy it over the counter in the pharmacy. It's a special thermometer. You cannot do this very easily with a regular thermometer. You take your temperature every day at exactly the same time, and you chart it on a chart. You can buy the charts. You can make your own charts. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. You can send away for charts online. So that's the one method, the temperature method. And basically what happens is your temperature goes up and down, and by the hills that it climbs and descends from, you can tell the days that you are likely to be the most fertile. The mucus method. This is kind of gross, so brace yourself and do not watch this while you're eating. You insert your fingers up to your cervix. You close your fingers like kind of near the surface of your cervix, and you pull out whatever mucus is there. And then you look to see if it's stretchy or if it's tacky, and how it feels in your hand and what it looks like. If it's thin and it's stretchy, like kind of like egg whites but not as white, that means you are fertile. Do not be sexually active if that's happening during that time, because you are very likely, or at least more likely, to conceive during that time. If it's white and tacky, you're not as likely to conceive. So if you're trying to aim for that special day and pinpoint it, that's another way you can use. The cervix method is another thing. If your cervix, which is a donut, when you insert your fingers, and this takes practice, believe me, you insert your fingers up to the cervix and you feel around. If it's low, the little donut hole shaped thing called the cervix, and it's open, it's low and open like this, then chances are you can conceive, because the sperm will go up into that round opening, obviously. If it's up high and closed, that means you're not as likely to conceive. These are things, like I said, nobody told me. Doctors don't talk to you about this usually unless you ask them. Even to this day, I don't think they do. Parents may not even know this method, so they're probably not going to discuss it with you. That's why I'm talking to you about it. Okay, another thing. So those are the 3 methods. The mucus method, the basal temperature method, and the cervical method. If you use all 3 of them, you're more likely to conceive. Another thing people did not tell me, remember that when they calculate your estimated due date, they are adding 2 weeks on of which you were not even pregnant, because it takes time for your uterus to prepare and everything to prepare for the conception. So what they do, the danglings, which I never did understand this, they're telling you your due date, but it's actually, they're adding on the 2 weeks. So you're thinking you're farther along than you are. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, I should have had this baby by now. Just remember, they add 2 weeks on that you're not even pregnant. So yeah, you should have the baby by now. No, you weren't even due to have the baby yet. Keep that in mind when they give you the due date. Subtract 2 weeks in your head, and that's more likely of a due date. Or maybe add a few weeks on, depending on what your body does, and there's no foolproof method in this either. But just remember, they do add on those 2 weeks and estimate it into their estimated due date. Again, doesn't make sense to me, but it's what they do. Alright, so I'm thinking I'm going to stop here for now because I covered everything on number 1, and I'm going to go to number 2 on the next video. So stay tuned. I hope you're getting some information out of this that maybe you didn't know. Have a great day. Bye.